squirrel.
Nice balls, dude.
That's a new meme, I guess. Well, Facebook is back. I can see large balls on a squirrel, so.
The Simpsons memes are pretty good.
Yeah.
You're live.
Yeah, we're going. Oh, man. How's it going?
Oh, fine.
Yeah. So
I almost bled out.
Yeah, we're a little late because Will had an emergency.
Yeah, I had a nosebleed.
He had a nosebleed and wouldn't stop. And it was on, like, we could, my sister and I that are here, we could see it.
Yeah.
None of you could. It's probably a good thing.
No, it was terrible. I was showing out, like, videoing it.
Yeah, it looked like, the bathroom looked like the scene from the original It.
Yeah.
And there were all the kids come in and they can see it too, and then they wash up all the blood.
Dude, I don't know what the deal. It's just like Evil Dead. Like
yeah.
When when I get these nosebleeds here lately, my blood pressure is fine. I know that.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know if it's just the dry air or what. I had one this morning too, and it's like, it's just an inconvenience.
Yeah. I used to get nosebleeds all the time. I don't know what happened. I think when I grew up a little bit, it kind of stopped.
Yeah, maybe I haven't grown out of it yet.
When I was a kid, I used to get them all the time.
Yeah, I did too, but not like this.
Yeah.
Maybe my sinuses are infected or something.
Maybe.
I feel fine.
Yeah. I had a little tummy ache on the way here, but it's gone now. I don't know.
Did you poop?
Yeah. That was great.
No, nice.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty stoked we get to talk about puke today, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's not very often that we get to talk about puke.
Mm-hmm.
Puke and poop.
Yeah. And blood.
And blood. Wow, we got all three. Puke, poop, and blood. Sometimes all together at the same time.
We could have had all five, but...
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
P would be one.
P would be, yeah.
That'd get us up to 4. If you know what I'm saying.
Funny story.
All right.
So early in the morning, every once in a while, I'll get up and I'll have to go to the bathroom. And sometimes I'm just gonna let everybody know. Sometimes I sit down to pee. But the only reason why...
Sit down when you pee.
No, the only reason why is because many times me alone in the bathroom for 10 to 15 minutes or whatever is some of the only alone time I get, right? We've got 2 cats, a lizard, a kid, and my wife. And so sometimes I just want to be alone for like 15 minutes. So I'll have to pee, but I'll be like... This is a sit down pee. And I sit down and I got a little book that I've been reading or I just get my phone out, which you guys probably all don't know. I do disinfect my phone every once in a while.
Dude, I never sit down to pee. Like if I poop, I stand up to pee and then sit back down.
Huh.
Like just kidding. I don't.
That's weird.
I'm just like, I refuse to sit down to pee.
But I was gonna say, well, it's really funny is I got yelled at the other day because Gretchen puts that little like piece of carpet on the lid of the toilet, and then she's got the matching carpet on the bottom, like on the floor, and it kind of wraps around the toilet. Mm-hmm. And so I have to aim very carefully because I don't want to get it wet. Well, sometimes in the morning I don't know what's going on, and so what'll happen is I'll go and I don't realize that it's getting the top edge of the toilet and it comes out the other side and it dribbles down and gets onto that little carpet. And then my wife finds it afterwards and she's like super mad.
When I was a kid, I think I was like running to the bathroom
so
and
funny.
pee really bad. And I didn't get the lid up and my mom had one of those carpety things on top of the lid.
Yeah.
And I peed some onto the top of the lid and it's like, and you're like 4 or 5. What do? You just like leave it and like.
Well, okay.
But anyway, like she asked me if I peed all over the top of the toilet, and I was like, no, I think it was the kitten. Like we just got a cat. And I was like, I think.
Oh, the cat did it.
Yeah, the cat. I used to blame the cat for everything. Anyway, I guess it wasn't that fun. Anyway,
no, that's pretty funny.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say that leads us into our topic since we're on this subject. We might as well move in. Somebody puked all over the floor in the bathroom during the races on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I think it was dude, I'm having a massive brain fart.
Well, it was definitely somebody that just had a dang pizza party.
Well, yes, it was. Like, but geez. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Where's the back button? I'm not using my laptop today. I'm using something else, and it's really driving me nuts.
The volume. There's just so much of it.
Yeah, it was a lot. But Caden Berdine like basically slipped and fell in it.
Really?
Yeah, he came into my room and he goes, Alex, and he's holding his car and he's like lifting up his foot a little bit. He's like, Alex, somebody puked in the bathroom and I slipped on it. And I was like, really? And I opened the door and I was like, oh my God. Like just the sheer volume of pizza puke was unbearable. And then I'm like, well, I don't have time to deal with this now. So I'll just shut the door. So I shut and locked the door so that nobody could get in there because I don't want anybody else to slip on it. And then I don't know why I didn't wait until after the races were over. I don't know why, now that I think about it.
It would not have been anywhere near as funny that way.
Well, okay, but
waited.
so what happened was I'm kind of freaking out about it because I can kind of smell it a little bit in the booth because the booth is not that far away from the bathroom and there's a vent, but it vents up above the bathroom, which is basically exposed air. And so I'm like, well, we got to do something about this. So I got $20 in my pocket and I don't feel like cleaning it up. So I walked over to Logan and I was like, here, Logan, here's $20. I'll give you $20 if you take the hose and you just go in there and just spray out the bathroom for me. Okay. Because 2 weeks earlier at the last Summer Series race, somebody missed the toilet and pooped on the floor. Now, I'm telling you, we've had the trifecta now at the Plex. We've had boogers on the wall, which came to a stop. So some kid doesn't race there anymore or outgrew putting all the boogers on the wall. Okay?
Yeah.
We've had poo on the floor now that I had to clean up last week. All I did was I took the hose and I just sprayed it off. And then I used a squeegee and I put it all down the drain. And now we've had massive puke. Massive. And so Logan opens up.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Logan opens up the door. He's got his face covering his you got to imagine he's got a sweater on. He's got his face up over his mouth and he's got his hoodie. I don't know why he put his hoodie down, but he put his hoodie down and he opens up the door and he starts spraying it. And all of a sudden the smell just wafts out into the open. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw me or not, but I almost threw up. It was so bad.
I walked out here. I was like, hey, what's going on?
Oh my God. It was so bad. And I was like, I felt so stupid. I was like, why didn't I just wait till the races were over? Because then people have to walk by that a couple times. And then the water started, he was like spraying too much water. And so it started dribbling out onto the walkway.
Yeah. And
I don't think it was puke water, but maybe it was. I don't know. But dude.
It was puke with water in it. Dude, it was bad.
So we shut the door again, and then I came in the next day, last night, and I finished cleaning it. That was the first thing I did on Sunday was clean the bathroom out again.
Well, it's like who does that? And just not like I get like, hey, you tried to get to the bathroom, and you didn't make it.
You didn't make it.
No big deal.
Just tell us.
But, yeah.
Tell somebody so that
please.
Yeah, so that Caden Berdine doesn't slip in it.
Right. Like, come on,
oof.
man. And it's like, if I did it, like, I would have definitely have, like, cleaned it up. You know, or made an attempt to, not just, like, pooped on the floor and just, like, totally disrespected the place. Like, purged everywhere. And,
I'm thinking it had to be a kid. Had to.
I don't know. It was a lot.
There was a lot of puke, but never underestimate the amount of bodily fluids that can come out of a little kid. Because when I had to clean Emerson, when Emerson was still in diapers, I mean, he dropped some massive, like adult-sized deuces that I had to clean up before. And he was just a little wee baby. And the first time he ever got sick and puked, I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah.
And it was macaroni and cheese. It was terrible.
It's pretty funny.
Dude, I think I have such a problem though with puke. We're gonna stay on the subject for one more story.
I know which story.
I have isolated the problem with me and puke. Like the poop, no problem. I handled it fine. I was like, oh, there's shit on the floor. Okay, and so
somebody got swifty.
Yeah, so I just fixed it, and I don't like it, but I can at least stand it. And I got kind of fired from my first baker's gig back in the day because I wouldn't clean the bathrooms. Like somebody just trashed our bathroom and they told me to go fix it. No, I'd already put in my 2 weeks and I was like, nope, not going to do that. The guy's like, we have to, or I'm going to send you home. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going home then. Like, and so I went home. But now I'm just like, nah, okay, fine, whatever. I'll just clean it up. But puke, dude, puke is, boy. So,
dude, oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
What were you going to say? Go for it.
Well, when I worked at Hobbytown in Lincoln, like I was always the guy that got stuck cleaning up all the poop guy, like every time.
Yeah.
Like there was a time during micro race or like 18 skill racing in the back of the store, and like somebody just pooped like in the middle of the floor. Like I don't know if they pooped their pants and they're just like scooping it out and just like right on the floor, and they shut the bathroom down. Waited till micro racing was over, and it's like, hey, Will, you got a mess to clean up back there. You know, it's like, what? And so I went into the bathroom, and it was just a total blowout. And I think that, so whoever did it, like, yeah, they must have pooped their pants, because when I took the trash out, there was a nice pair of underwear splayed with poop all over them. Anyway. Then it's like there's this kid that decided to take his diaper off at the Lego table and got poop all over the Lego table and everywhere.
Kids are terrible with that, especially when their parents aren't paying attention.
Some adult pooped their pants one time in the store in one of the aisles.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Carpeted aisles there.
Somebody dropped a deuce in our paint aisle a couple years ago. Like we're just walking by and Cameron's like, oh, and I'm like, what? And he goes, come here, and I looked and there's a nice long deuce just sitting there in the paint aisle. Yeah, we had to clean that up. That was
must love
terrible.
Like that must be their kink.
Must be like a fetish or something.
Well, it's like, man, I can just think of a lot of different fetishes in that.
So, anyways, back to why I can't stand it is when I graduated. Okay, my parents, for some reason, my stepdad and my mom were like, the weekend I got out of school early. You know how when you're a senior, you get out of school a couple weeks early?
Mm-hmm.
That weekend, my parents were like, hey, we're going to go travel somewhere this weekend. And I was like, you're going to do what? Yeah, we're not going to be back till Sunday night. I'm like, or Sunday afternoon or something like that. And I'm like, really? Cool. And so I invited a bunch of friends over. And
as any high school lad would do.
Yeah, exactly. And that was actually the first time I ever got drunk. It was crazy. Not that that's a good thing. I'm just telling you guys that's what happened.
Hey, at least you're at home.
Actually, it was this girl's fault. Her sister brought all the alcohol, and was
it like super bad?
I don't think I've ever seen super bad.
Ah, you're breaking my heart.
Sorry.
God.
But anyways, well, that's a different story. Probably not appropriate for this podcast. Anyways, but quite a few number of things happened. Somebody broke a chair, and it was my stepdad's chair, and so I had to get that fixed.
His favorite chair.
It was like a dining room wooden chair. It wasn't that big of a deal, but somebody broke it, and somebody broke up, and then the dude went out and like punched his truck and put these big giant dents in his truck. And then this other dude that came was a friend of Chris Catlitz's and I's. He showed up with a 6-pack of Bud Ice. I'll never forget that. Bud Ice. So he got...
That's like ice. That's like malt liquor, isn't it?
I think so. He drank all 6, got wasted on Bud Ice, and he also happened to eat an entire bag of red Twizzlers.
Perfect.
And the entire bag of red Twizzlers eventually found its way onto my waterbed, onto the floor, and in the creases of my waterbed and the side rails of said waterbed.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to clean that up. before my parents got home because I would have gotten in trouble. So I had to fix a chair. So I had to go 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm still awake. I don't think I slept. 6 a.m. in the morning, I run to the nearest hardware store that was open or whatever it was, and I got some wood glue, and I put back together this chair. And then I had to take a shovel, a winter shovel, and I had to shovel red Twizzler puke into a garbage bag and take it upstairs. Then I had to go, I went to Baker's. So the girl that broke up with her boyfriend or whatever actually showed up at my house to help me clean at 8 a.m. in the morning. I had no idea who this person was before that night. And she was like, I feel so bad for you. So she went and rented a rug.
Wow, that's really nice.
Dude,
that's great.
It was great. She went and rented a rug doctor and helped me clean up all this puke with the rug doctor because she felt bad that my parents were going to come home and I was going to get busted for having a trashed house. I remember that.
She is a great person.
She is I don't even know her name. I don't remember her name. God, that's crazy.
Wow. If you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah, good chance of that.
No way she is. Wow, that's one of the nicest things you could ever do.
Dude, I remember that was so awesome. None of my other friends stuck around.
Hell no.
They were
None
gone.
of your real friends ever stick around.
Okay. All right. Hey, this is we talked about that for 15 minutes. This Perfect. Is the Hobbytown Hobbyplex. I'm Alex Sturgeon, race director and somewhat manager of the Hobbytown. And with me as always,
I'm Will Brenton.
And we're here to recap our Region 8 Regional. We actually don't have a crazy amount of time because I'm in the middle of a big track build.
Yeah.
As always, this show is brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. And you give them a call, ask for Don Zoller, or you can even call Aiden Olson's dad and mention our show. And if you get a refinance or home loan, you get either a $500 lender credit or 0.125 off your interest rate.
Both good deals.
I don't have my laptop with me because I was working on the track and I came straight here from there. So I'm kind of using my phone. Hopefully it doesn't die. And my sister's got this gigantic iPad. But I wanted to talk about our Region 8 Regionals. It's our last official dirt race with qualifiers and mains. This coming up Saturday is our enduro, and then we're off to carpet on Saturdays. And dirt will be on Friday nights.
That's cool.
So that'll probably pick up the entry count on Friday nights too. The entries on Fridays have been good. It's just it'll probably kind of consolidate a little bit.
Yeah, I'll probably come up and race e-buggy on Friday nights until I get a carpet car.
That's what I'm planning on doing. I got my my e-buggy all ready to go. Emerson wants to race mini truggy when he's there on Fridays, and then I got to put together my Schumacher still. I'll probably miss the first week. I'm thinking. I'm just looking at how much time I have. I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, we'll see when I end up doing carpet.
Yeah. This weekend went pretty well. There was 2 other races. The INS race at Hoosier RC, and then the J Concepts race at is it PDX? Is that what they call that place? Carpet?
I don't know.
I think it's PDX Underground, right?
They had two races in the same weekend?
Yep. They had the Carpet INS at that PDX Underground. I think it's in Oregon or maybe Northern California. I don't know. And then they had the dirt one that was rescheduled because the clubhouse closed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The PDX track looks cool. The track, I was watching the videos and stuff, the track itself doesn't really look that much bigger than ours. Mm-hmm. And they did a pretty neat thing with the layout. I'm going to try to not simplify our layout, but I'm going to try to make it it's so easy to change the track a little bit with the click track that what the on-road guys come up with, I'll still have to kind of base it off of, but I'm definitely going to try to make more. I think this year for the carpet off-road, I'm going to go for more length in the lanes.
Yeah.
And then next week, because this week's track build, next week is our first mini night and the first No, it's not. Sorry, the Enduro's this week. God, I'm so confused. Yeah, next week is the first week of on-road mini racing, and then Saturday off-road on the carpet. So I'm gonna work on all the jumps, try to get them all put back together, basically.
Yeah.
I got a lot to do. I'm lost as to what day it is. Today feels like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, I think Aiden Horn and Dakota Fend won there. I think Dakota won 4-wheel drive. I think Aiden actually won 2-wheel drive at the dirt one. And then I didn't see the rest of the classes, but I don't think any of our guys went there. Other than Pat Nowd. I think Pat Nowd was there. Tyler? I think he got. Yeah. I think he got second, didn't he?
I have no idea.
Dude, to be honest with you, Facebook's been down today, and I usually review stuff at some point, and I haven't reviewed a thing, so I'm trying to go off of memory. But the West Coast one was definitely a West Coast race because I don't recognize any of those names other than Brent, and I think he won 40 plus.
Oh yeah,
the team associated team manager, and 40 plus extraordinaire. Anyways, okay, enough of that. Let's get to our races. We had 97 entries, about 50 drivers. That's about what I thought we were going to get. We had 106 online, and we ended up right at 100. I kind of expected that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. For a Roar race, I think that's fine. Our Summer Series races get 170, right? Mm-hmm. But this race tends to scare people off for a couple reasons. They think tech's going to be very stringent. They think the entry fees. They don't know what the Roar a membership costs, right? And so you get these two things that kind of go against the race, I think. And then also some of the guys are kind of over it. They're getting ready for carpet season.
Yeah, I think a few guys are kind of burned out on dirt, maybe because we were hammering it like every weekend there for a little while. Carpet or dirt race.
Yeah, I know. Well,
but hey, we're lucky to have it.
If next year goes the way it's going to go, woof.
Buckle up.
Buckle up, Buckaroos.
Mm-hmm.
But still, for me, that was perfect because we do an extra qualifier, right? Mm-hmm. So if we had 170 entries, we'd have been there till midnight. Mm-hmm. So we got really lucky. So we had 13 heats. It was basically 2 hours around. It was really easy to get through.
Yeah.
So did you just break your tip off?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
I didn't have the tip. I got aluminum dealers in here, and I didn't have the tip in all the way. Oh. I was gonna make my wrench.
I was gonna make a joke, but I can't do that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, well.
People know what we're thinking.
Yeah, I know. We're dirty. All right, so let's get started here. So 13.5 short course truck A main was the first one up, and the turnout for the 13.5 short course kind of goes with the trend of two-wheel drive short course in general. There was only 4 of them. Mm-hmm. And Ashley was pretty much the class of the field.
Oh, yeah.
However, him and Tyler got together at the start, and he actually had to work his way back. He was not the leader after the second lap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah. He got basically taken out over the back jump, and then 2 laps later, he was in front, and that was that. He was gone.
Yeah.
But his truck
for him.
His truck looked really good.
Yeah.
For a short course truck.
Yeah.
His truck looked really good. Actually, everybody's trucks look pretty good. It's just that it's short course truck, so it's like driving a brick around the track.
Yeah, there is one guy running like the old Chevy Silverado body. It just looks like a flat pancake. You know what I'm talking about?
The red one or Jake's?
I don't know which one it was.
Oh.
But I saw it was like, I used to have that body. I remember that from a long time ago.
Yeah.
The Silverado one that had like no cab. It just looked like a UFO out there.
Yeah. So anyway, Tyler Fleming got second, Trevor Duncan got third, and Jake Poteet got fourth. And it kind of mimics the truck series. actually.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go back here. Trying to use this computer that's not mine.
One thing that I love about Chili is how into truck racing he is.
Yeah.
He just needs like a trucker hat with the mud flap girl on it, or Yosemite Sam. You know, like that's the hat he needs because he's all about trucks, man.
Yeah, which is weird to me because Chili doesn't come across to me as any sort of like hillbilly. Like he seems very sophisticated to me.
He's like, yes, it's a short course truck.
Yeah. Your truck, sir.
Yeah. Yes. He's like the. That'd be funny if he was like the sophisticated truck connoisseur.
All snooty.
Yeah.
All snooty about it.
Yeah. He needs to be like, it's not a truck.
He shows up to the track. He's like, I race short course trucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys race.
The finest of racing.
Yes. All right, 13.5 four-wheel drive. So, was 13.5 the biggest class or was Mod? I think Mod was.
Four-wheel?
I'm
Or
pretty
two-wheel?
No, Mod two-wheel drive. I think Mod
Yeah.
two-wheel drive beat 13.5 this time for biggest class.
That's first time forever.
Yeah. Jackson Anderson qualified second and took the win in this one. Mason Herrick got to TQ, finished second. Caden Berding with another great finish here in 13.5. I think he's won 2 13.5 Summer Series races this year, and he gets a third place here.
Yeah.
James Nelson had a really good finish from the 7th spot, moving up to 4th. Brent Riley was 5th. How about Daniel Bender making the main, qualifying 8th, and then finishing 6th? Then you had Ashley McCormick, Stephen Will, Shane Alberico, and TJ Williams. Jackson kind of got really aggressive at the start. Did you watch this?
No, I just listened to it.
He was putting lots of pressure on Mason very early, and then it was actually pretty clean. It was fun to watch until they came up to that new section I built where you go up that elevated corner, and then you have to keep it real tight on the drop down and then come back towards the loop.
Mm-hmm.
He basically monster jammed him there.
Yeah.
But to his credit, he waited.
Yeah.
And then worked himself up to take over the lead. So it just kind of sucks for Mason. I felt bad. I mean, I'm glad Jackson waited, but Mason, if they would have just gotten around that first lap, it probably would have been those two anyways, you know? But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like an 8-minute main. So it's like, it's what's your strategy? Are you going to be aggressive or are you going to be patient?
Yeah.
You know?
I always try to be patient. But anytime I'm ever aggressive, I always end up crashing or something. So it's like, or taking somebody out. So I just never even try anymore. I just try to roll around and find some. If it's an easy pass, I'll take it. But if it's not, I'm just waiting.
The greatest races that I've had lately have been when I'm very, very patient.
Yeah.
Those 2 Summer Series races this year where basically I started behind Mac and made that pass on the very last corner. Like that's probably one of the greatest races I've ran in a long time. Like I was very, very patient in that race.
Yeah.
Just biding my time.
Yeah.
You know. But then there's something to be said about trying to get away right away, early, I guess. But I don't know. It worked out for the most part, but I just felt bad for Mason getting hammered on right away. But they'll race with each other some more. It also has to do with, I think a lot of that has to do with how, like when you and I are together on the track, like I kind of know how you race and you know how I race. So I think it's fairly easy for us to run really close.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, definitely like racing with you or Jeremy or Mac or Chad. I mean, I always know what to expect and who I'm racing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, I know that if I get taken out, and also like Drew Rubin King, if I'm racing with him, he bumps into me, I know he's gonna wait, and he's not gonna hit me. It's pretty few and far between.
Yeah.
That's like I think that one of my greatest races was this last weekend. I finished 4th, but Jeremy and I had a great race the entire last 5 minutes.
Oh, I know.
Just nose to tail.
I was behind most of it.
Yeah.
By about 2 corners.
Mm-hmm. And the layout was kind of, I mean, I liked it. Don't get me wrong.
It was
I'm not
hard.
complaining. It was difficult and it was hard to make time up.
Yeah.
It was just full.
Very.
If you weren't off throttle, it was full throttle.
Yeah.
So pretty much if you didn't make a mistake, you're gonna do well. I didn't crash at all in our main, and I did not have a faster car than you or Jeremy or Mac or any of those guys. I just kept my nose clean the whole 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, because you look at the lap times, I could not get. I should have just sauced my whole front tires. I normally just do the inside half, but that track needed so much more steering to go fast.
Yeah.
I should have just. I bet if I would have just left my car alone, sauced the front tires completely, and worked through that, and I would have been way faster. But anyway, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Plexback was up next. Connor Hausch took the TQ in a win, and I pointed it out all day. I didn't know this until I looked up there on Friday because I was trying to give him some pointers because I was marshalling during the controlled practice or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That kid drives with one hand.
Who?
Connor.
Really?
In Plexback, he had a bad motorcycle crash on his and he's got a jacked up right hand.
Yeah.
Which I knew about, but I thought he could still steer.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's using one hand to race the whole time.
That's pretty badass.
That's crazy.
He just uses his thumb?
Yeah, thumb and finger.
Huh.
Isn't that nuts? And I told him, I'm like, once you get operation again of your right hand, you're not going to know what to do. You're going to be like, well, I like this. So
does he not have any dexterity in his right hand, and that's why he can't use it? Or?
Well, I'm pretty sure that he's got some pins and stuff in there still.
Oh, really?
Holding bones in place until it heals.
Interesting. I had no idea. I noticed it.
I had no idea that he's been doing that this whole time.
Yeah.
He's been racing for at least a month and a half or so.
Huh. Well, yeah, I knew that. But...
Oh, it was a fireworks accident. Never mind. I thought it was a motorcycle accident for some reason.
Oh, really? Was he on the news?
So he blew up his hand.
on the 4th this year?
Must have been. Huh. Yeah, I just saw that in the chat. I could have swore it was a motocross.
You should tell everybody it was a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's way cooler. It's way cooler to have a motocross.
Tell them you were doing wheelies and all kinds of stuff and duck ran out in front of you or something.
Eli Vanderbeek qualifying second and finishing second. He actually had the lead on the first lap, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I think so, for a little while, maybe for half a lap. And then another fun one here in Plexspec was Ariana Smith. She got the last podium in third there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so all three of those got to get a pretty awesome trophy. Carson Catron was fourth. Owen Hook was fifth. Alex Eichler was sixth. Steve Eichler was seventh. And Melissa Catron was eighth. Nice little Plexspec turnout for the regional. Yeah. Independent two-wheel drive was next. And, boy, I love Independent Buggy, dude.
Yeah. They're strong independent drivers that don't need no man to sponsor them.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And TJ Williams got himself a TQ and a win. Tyler Fleming got second. Jake Poteet was third. Ronnie went from the 7 up to the 4. Diego got fifth. Diego Quintana, and props to him for moving up from Plexspec for good, I think. That's what Independent Buggy's all about. It's just an easy path to get out of Plexspec. Jerry Doherty was sixth. Chase Freeze was seventh from the bump up spot. Daniel Bender was the big one, but this one was because it wasn't his car.
Yeah.
So Bender's motor locked up in warm up, and then Mac Vanderbeek went to help him, and he realized that this car was not salvageable. So he grabbed Eli's buggy from PlexSpec, which has got a stock motor in it, and got it ready to go. And I was watching Daniel, and he was driving it like he would drive his car. Daniel's car clearly doesn't have as much steering as Eli's car does.
Yeah.
And so poor Daniel was doing all he could to hang on to that thing. And it looked like towards the end he kind of got the hang of it. But there was one corner I watched him turn, and the car turned. You could tell that his car, when he turns, it turns a little later than what he was expecting Eli's car to do. So it wasn't really Daniel's fault that he dropped from 2nd to 8th. It was his car's fault. So
yeah. Well, hey, big props to Mac for getting him out there and letting him borrow a car. That's
exactly.
pretty awesome.
Exactly. Nick Sneathen with 9th, and Josh Catron was 10th there in independent buggy. And there was a B main in independent buggy too. So a nice big turnout for our regular Joes, as I like to call them. Expert stock was right up after that. And the top 3 was basically the top 3 from the summer series last couple rounds. Mason didn't make all the rounds, so but he was there for the last 2. And it was Jeremy Fellows getting his 2nd Region 8 title. His first one was E-Buggy in 2011.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
He showed up and borrowed a car and just stomped everybody.
Yeah, I know. I felt really dumb that day.
Yeah.
Back in 2011, E-Buggy was my bag.
Oh, yeah.
I just made that year. I had made the A main at the Nitro Challenge in Pro E-Buggy, and I thought it was hot stuff.
Yeah.
Mason Herrick was 2nd, and Jackson Anderson dropped from TQ to 3rd. Duh. It was really Jeremy and Mason, pretty much from about the 3rd lap on, that were really close. Caden Barron with another strong finish, finishing 4th. Brent Riley was 5th. Logan Prismanis from the bump spot, just like he did the last Summer Series race, to 6th. Ashley McCormick was 7th. Shane Alberico was 8th. Patrick Mitrovic was 9th. And John Berding broke out back there in 10th. And then after Expert was our 4-wheel drive mod class. You had this one's crazy. So Dave Alberico won the last round of the Summer Series, his first Summer Series win ever. And then he shows up at Regionals and he gets the win by 0.5 of a second over Ethan Delaire. And Alex Vanderbeek with a TQ in 3rd. So Dave Alberico, who we have confirmed is 42 years old or 41 years old, got a 4-wheel drive mod buggy title for 2021. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Owen Vanderbeek with 4th. So it was Alex and then Owen. And then Rico Karstens was 5th. Mitchell Pavel was 6th. Tommy Smith was 7th. Logan Prismanis was 8th. And Caleb was working, and then he went home. So really there was only 8 of them. Stadium Truck was next. And just like the Summer Series, Brian Burnt pretty much cleaned up here. Brian Burnt with the TQ and a win. John Berding was 2nd. TJ Williams was 3rd. So, in fact, no positions really changed hands from qualifying except for Chili Duncan getting in front of Nick Sneathen for 6th and 7th. Everybody else stayed right where they qualified. Brian Cox was 5th. Darren Ryder was 8th. Jake Poteet was 9th, and Chase Freeze was 10th. That's interesting. That doesn't always happen that way.
No, it does not.
2-wheel drive mod buggy. Alex Vanderbeek with the TQ and a win. Dave Alberico got 2nd. Jackson Anderson was 3rd. And then you were 4th. Mac Vanderbeek was 5th. I was 6th. Jeremy Fellows was 7th. Honestly, I should have been 7th, and he should have been 6th. Owen Vanderbeek
was going big on the last lap. Trying to get around me.
Owen Vanderbeek was 8th. Rico was 9th, and Ethan Delaire was 10th. I was kind of pissed at myself after this race because my car was really good. And just, remember a couple of years ago where I was just having the worst race luck ever, every single round of the summer series, and I'd end up like 8th.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened here for me. Like, I got around Jackson on the first lap, clean. Like, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'm in 3rd. Well, let's just follow David around. And I just minded my own business, and I hit that drop down, and my car just landed and flipped over.
Oh, I saw it happen.
And I was like,
right behind you.
I was like, no, you got to be kidding. So I went from 3rd to basically last, and then worked my way up to you guys, and then I crashed again, traction rolled again with like 2 minutes left to go, and that was pretty much that. So I was kind of bummed out about that. I felt like I could have podiumed if that rollover wouldn't have happened. I know I could have. I know I would have.
Yeah.
So, but instead I got to chase you and Jeremy for most of that race, and then Jackson and Mac started heating up there for 3rd, because Mac was in 3rd for most of that race, and then those two got together, and I kind of was thinking, it's just from my vantage point, I was like, well, I mean, maybe I can get 4th, you know, but it just wasn't in the cards.
Right.
But you got a 4th out of that. And that was a big field. There was 18 cars.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not mad about it. I felt like I could have done better. I just didn't get enough steering in my car, I guess. And it was kind of like, I think it was just tires. Like I was saying earlier, I probably should have sauced my tires more, for the front tires for the main more.
Yeah.
Got a little bit more balance out of my car that way, you know.
I normally don't even sauce my tires, my fronts. But the first qualifier, my car was awesome. I qualified 2nd. The second qualifier, my car wouldn't turn.
I think my rear tires are just so locked in that I had to try to get it to balance a little better.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what happened to me in that second qualifier for sure. And then so I sauced them. I sauced all my tires, front and rear, for the 3rd qualifier. I think I finished 4th for the round. So I felt like, all right, I'm back. I can handle this. And then the main came, and I was like, man, my car is great. And then just weird stuff started happening.
Yeah.
Oh well, I think I'm going to use that car. I think I'm going to use my B6 in the Enduro.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to put a 13.5 in it, gear it very conservatively. I'm just going to use my Buggy.
How are you going to change batteries efficiently and quickly?
The J Concepts rubber battery strap.
Oh, the net thing? I have that in my car that I use normally.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because I think because we're starting carpet, I think my dirt car is just going to go on eBay.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
You're going to put a new drivetrain in it before you sell it?
No. Before. That's what eBay's for, man. Just get rid of your old stuff. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess. Oh my god.
I'm thinking gear diff too. You don't think so?
I don't know. I'm not driving it. I can't make it, or I would. It's like,
I don't know. Man, there's nothing wrong with a ball diff. I mean, you think about how many hours you put on it during the summer. Of course. At least me, I didn't rebuild my diff all summer until last week. So,
really?
Yeah. It's probably why my car was so good. I actually did maintenance on it last Thursday during after hours.
Yeah, dude. So what do we run? We run 3 club races in between each.
Yeah.
I put a new diff in my car for the
summer
series rounds, and I run it until the next summer series round.
Yeah, that was usually my regiment, but not this year.
Yeah.
I think I
do a whole new drivetrain.
I had to have gone at least 2 or 3 summer series races without changing my diff.
Dude.
This summer. I think it might have been 3. I got to go back at after hours and look, because you can tell, because if it's the week before the summer series and I'm working on my dirt car.
No wonder your car is always getting beat.
Shut up.
It's just like...
I'm telling you, it's true though. A little maintenance goes a long way. I do some maintenance.
It does.
I do some maintenance, and all of a sudden I'm second qualifier.
Yeah, I never think of myself as a very good driver, so I have to have a good car.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I look at it. You know, or at least like when I first started, I was like, I need my car to be perfect, so I know what a perfect car drives like.
See, I think I consider myself to be a pretty good driver, and I hope that doesn't come across as arrogant, but I've always thought I could outdrive people no matter what. Yeah. So I think I've always sort of been able to get away with not having the best maintenance car because I could always kind of drive anything.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I can drive anything. I'm just really picky.
At least up until recently. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Like I'm just really picky. Like,
yeah.
Like I want my car to be, I don't want to have to make it work. Like
right.
Like that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You know, because if my car's not right and I have to just drive better to make it work better, it's like, what am I doing here? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That probably just comes from full size racing.
Yeah.
Mentality.
Back when I didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities and I didn't have very many friends, I used to spend a lot of time on my car at home. But
yeah,
the last 10, 15 years, I've had no time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I wouldn't say I had no time, but I just, it was kind of like, I don't know. I just didn't put as much emphasis as other people, I'm sure, do.
Yeah.
On that side of it. So,
mm-hmm.
Anyways, okay, last one, mini truggy. There was, I think there was only 8 of them. Yeah, there was only 8 of them. But Emerson Sturgeon, my son, ended up winning. He qualified like 5th in the first round with no practice. Like he literally got no practice. He showed up because he wanted to. What did he do Friday night? Oh, he had a football game Friday night. So he skipped out on practice Friday for homecoming football game. And by the way, Bennington blew out South Sioux City like 52-0. It was great. Which doesn't surprise me because okay, I hope none of you people are from Sioux City are going to take offense to this, but my mom is from South Sioux City, and I've been to South Sioux City many times. It doesn't surprise me that they didn't score any points.
The rivalry is
probably, you know, I mean, I'm not saying all their high school kids are on crack, but considering what goes on in that town, I don't know. Anyways, that was terrible. I'm sorry, South Sioux City people.
sorry, everybody from Sioux City that comes into race.
South Sioux City. South Sioux City is Council Bluffs to Sioux City. Okay? I just want to point that out. Omaha has Council Bluffs. Sioux City has South Sioux City. They're 2 distinct different towns.
Yeah.
Just want to point that out. I'm not going anywhere that nobody else has ever gone there between those 2.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Emerson Sturgeon TQ'd round 2 and then broke his car in round 3. So he qualified 4th, and then he just sort of picked everybody off. I was marshaling, and I was watching him, and I was very proud of him. He didn't take anybody out. He hardly touched anybody. He hardly wrecked at all during the whole 8 minutes. He did really good. And his tires, I thought were going to explode.
Yeah, dude. Those things are so thin you could hold them up to the sun and see through.
There was his truck tires, because there's no gold ellipses anywhere. They're all out again.
I think I got them all.
They're all out again. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to make these last. And my son drives way harder than I do. So his tires never last on anything. And I've tried to make him change tires because we do have tires with tread on them. And he's like, no, don't do that. I like my truck the way it is. And you go over and you feel his tires, and you can literally peel those things up. Like they'll come up off the rim by like an inch, and then you can snap it back into place. So I thought for sure that I was like, you know, the one thing that's going to take him out of this main is one of his tires are going to tear and explode.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't happen. So I was happy. It's so crazy though, because you wouldn't think those tires work, but if you watched his truck, I was marshaling, where you would come through state line and then make that hard left-hander that 90-degree left-hander, and his truck was glued right there. Glued. It was great.
Yeah.
Anyways, Logan Prismanis got the TQ and qualified second. Jake Poteet qualified third and finished there. John Haas got a fourth out of all that. Nick Sneathen was eighth. Patrick Mitrovic was sixth. Ronnie Went was seventh, and Stephen Will was eighth. And that concludes the 2021 Region 8 Regionals electric tent scale at the Hobbytown Hobbyplex. We probably won't do one of these for at least another year. We might have a chance to do the 2023 ones maybe.
Could we ever have a regionals on carpet?
I mean, I don't see why not. You know, they're going to have a carpet or what are they doing this year? They added a national on Roar added. They're taking bids for a AstroTurf or carpet national.
Really?
Yes.
It's going to be a separate deal, huh?
It's a separate deal. And I certainly wouldn't want to do that at the Plex. That's for sure.
You couldn't have a nationals on a 12-second track.
No. It has to be.
That wouldn't be right.
It has to be like
Thunder Road.
I was going to say it has to be like Thunder Road or somewhere like that for sure.
Those guys would love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Thunder Road. If you're listening, you should put in for the Roar Carpet Nationals that I just found out about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, you want to take a pivot break? Looking at my sister, she's like, "Oh crap, I got to do work." We'll take a pivot break.
We should pivot over to the pivot lending break.
And then we'll go through our comments, and then we'll get out of here. I got to go back to the track. Travis Clancy's actually helping me, and I told him, I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to go. So he's there alone, like raking. I feel really bad. Yeah.
Nice of him.
All right.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Yeah!
This is a Pivot Lending Update with David Olson and Don Zoller. Get some.
This is David Olson with Pivot Lending Group, and today is May 10th, 2021. And we want to talk about interest rates and where the market is today and where we kind of see the rates going potentially into second quarter, going into third quarter. Interest rates have moved up 50 basis points since the 1st of February. So we were on a 30-year, right at the beginning of February, we were close to 2.375 to 2.5, right in that range. We went as high as 3.375 about 3-4 weeks ago, and we're back down now to about 3% on the 30-year. So a lot of things that are kind of going and moving against low interest rates right now. We have obviously the infusion of capital into our economy within the last 12 months. We've pushed through and continuing to push through about $6 trillion in debt from the beginning of COVID through the last push. So there's a lot of money that's going to be coming into our economy, being printed up, and a lot of employment going on. And in combination with that, converging with the amount of money that's sitting on the sidelines right now. So all the families that, including mine, did not take a vacation last year and have just disposable income has been growing momentum in your savings accounts. You're going to see a lot of people taking that money off the sidelines and start purchasing things and doing things and kind of getting back to a somewhat normal life. And when we have the amount of money that we're going to be printing with the money that the government's borrowing and having convergence with that and the consumer spending that is happening, and then the final piece in that is payroll, in which we start to see payrolls going up and the job numbers coming down. And everywhere that I'm looking around in our different markets, there's just help wanted signs everywhere. Just driving in to do this recording, they were talking about the lack of employment in the service industry, and they just can't hire enough people right now to help. And they were getting crushed on Mother's Day because of the lack of employees to help in the service sector. So when we have those three things going against the rates, you're going to start to see inflation pop up. And the effects of inflation typically are in rear. So you're not, by the time that we start to see some of those numbers pushing higher, it's already been cooking for a little bit. And, I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see rates over 4% in 12 months. We'll just have to kind of see, keep our eye on it. But that being said, rates are actually down a little bit here within the last week or so. It's a great time still to refinance. The rates are slightly higher, but still fantastic. When I jumped in the industry 27 years ago, prime was at 10. So, 3.5%, 4%, 5%, these are all still really great rates. If you're in a situation where you're looking to refinance just rate and term, you didn't take advantage of the market over the last year, we're lower, I should say, than where we were 2, 3, 4 years ago. So there's still a big advantage there. Cash out if you're looking to do some consolidation. My oldest is going off to college, so I'm thinking about that. If you're looking to take some cash out to pay for college or even do some home improvements, there's a lot of equity that's starting to grow in Omaha, and we've been watching this for several years in Colorado. Take some of that equity and double down on it and make the improvements that you need to your property. So the financial outlook for interest rates, obviously, we all know that they're going up. It's not if, it's when, and the when's happening right now. So this is a good time to lock in your rates before you kind of get caught on that next adjustment, I guess. If you have any questions on any of that, feel free to give me a call, 402-881-5951. Ask for David Olson or shoot me a text, 402-881-5951.
David Olson, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
So what'd you do during the great Facebook outage? Oh, I don't think he has his stuff on. He's grabbing a towel. Got a towel? Oh, he's got his things. He's got his things back in. There he is.
Okay, I'm here.
Hey, what? I was gonna say, what did you do during the great fishing outage today?
What?
Fishing outage. God, man, I'm all Facebook outage.
Oh, worked.
Yeah, I did nothing. You know
I
what?
was at work. Well, Andy's out having a cigarette, and he comes back in, and he's like, "Is there something wrong with your phone? Because there's like this new update on iOS, and like this is like last time. It's probably iPhone trying to get us and have us buy new phones or something again." And I was like, "Oh, I don't. Let me check my Facebook." And so I look at my Facebook, and I was like, "Yeah, it's not working either. Maybe my phone's not that old, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I gotta get a new phone so I have Facebook again. I don't know." And then it's like I texted you. I was like, "Hey, does your Facebook work?" He's like, and you're like, "No, Facebook is melting down or something like that, or global meltdown." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." I was like, false alarm, Andy. We don't need new phones.
Well, at first I was worried it got hacked.
Oh,
so I was kind of freaking out. I was like, "Oh no," because I tried to log in and it said my account didn't exist.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about everything that I have on Facebook, all my photos, all that stuff, and I'm like, "Holy crap!"
Well, all the stuff for the business.
That too, yeah. I couldn't get into the Hobbyplex business pages or nothing. Talking Fish RC, got no access to anything.
Talking Fish RC.
Yeah. So, but then when I Googled it, and I'm like, "Oh, it's down."
Yeah.
It's kind of nice, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
I think a world without Facebook would probably be okay.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. I just went over to Reddit, scrolled through that, killed some time. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got a couple super chats real quick. The first one was Nick Nuthouse. He says more catfishing videos. Yeah. So I posted some videos on Facebook yesterday. Speaking of Facebook, and I sent that video off to my son, who we've been going back and forth on Messenger because he's got all the podium pics from this weekend. So I just got the podium pics before we started today. So I'm going to have those on the site tonight. Speaking of that, the Hobbyplex Saturday page. But then he's going to put those videos together and put our second fishing video on Talking Fish Angling. So That'll be nice. But basically,
so like your business, like Talking Fish RC.
Yeah.
I always think like Talking Fish RC, like it's like sophisticated and like nice. Then like Talking Fish Angling is like as if like the Tiger King dude had a had a fishing show like a redneck. Like anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That channel will be fun. Emerson and I are planning on doing some ice fishing too this winter, so I'm all for it. That'd be great as long as it don't fall through. The next spring.
Yeah, don't fall through.
Yeah. And then Peter Renault's super chat says, "You got any tricks for keeping dirt out of motor bearings?" It's not really a whole lot you can do.
Velcro, like depending on the vehicle, you could like Velcro the sides of your body up all the way.
Yeah.
That'd be something, but I don't know. There used to be like overtrays and stuff you could get for short course trucks.
Yeah, but not for a buggy though.
Yeah, not for a buggy.
I don't know.
I like one of those nets.
It's almost not worth it.
Deals.
I always thought it wasn't really worth it because of the heat.
Yeah.
Like when you start covering up stuff, then your stuff starts getting hot.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't ever thought that was really that worth it.
Right.
I don't know. I guess
never thought about it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's been a while since you've run on a real outdoorsy track. So
even then, like I remember spinning my motor in the back of my car and spraying motor spray into it while I was running to clean it out.
Really?
Yeah, with brushed motors.
Yeah.
So. And that could have ended badly. Like,
yeah.
Could have burned down my whole car. I didn't know. I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Like the old Lincoln track. That's just how I cleaned my motor.
Could you put a piece of tape over it?
A brushless motor?
Yeah. Well, on the one side, it's not. Your sensor board covers up that side, doesn't it? There's no shaft poking out on that side, is there?
Depends on the motor.
That's true.
Like a Trinity one, I think you can see the bearing.
Yeah, it's open.
You know?
That's true.
I have no good answer for that one.
And you don't really want to use motor spray on a brushless motor. You just air, right? Just an air compressor.
I don't know. I usually just use a brush.
Yeah, I usually just use a brush too. I never even take my motors apart unless I have to, for like tech or something.
Every once in a while, I'll clean my motor, but it's like if I don't have anything else to do.
Sure, yeah. I don't know, Peter. Kind of got us on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All right, let's start going through these comments, and I got to get back to the track. So
okay, yeah.
John Haas says, "Did you cry?" I'm gonna assume that's when we were talking about the puke or the poop, or maybe sitting on the toilet.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry about it. When I had to do it, I took it like, man. I didn't complain. Nothing. Just did it.
Nick Nuthouse says, "Awesome catfishing on light line, Alex." Yeah, thanks. Those were two good, dude. Those are the two biggest catfish I've ever caught in my life so far. So I'm on a very big high right now from that. That was great.
Woo.
Peter asked, why did the cat look so grassy? And it's because where we caught him at the exact same time, Emerson's line, which was about 50 yards upstream, he heard a splash. And so it was dark because it was, really nighttime. It's really dark down there. So I had to, I grabbed the fish, the really big one, and I had to walk him over to where Emerson was while he was catching his fish because I wanted to see what it was. And I dropped him because I was going to use a profanity, but that fish bit me. So I had him by the lip, and that big-headed catfish actually clamped down on my thumb, and it hurt really, really bad. And I have little scrapes from his little bristly mouth on my thumb, and so I dropped him in the grass. So that's why he was so grassy. I didn't want to put him in the water to clean him off because I didn't want to accidentally let him go. So we just took the picture. So that's what
It
happened.
would have been funny if you like got really mad, uncontrollably mad, and just like stomped on it.
Nah, it's the fish is just doing what it needed. If I was a fish and I was being held up by a thumb, I'd bite down on that thumb.
The last time I went fishing, like I was like, all right, let's find the rock to smash their heads on when we get them out of the water, like making jokes like the whole time. It wasn't.
I have a hard time killing fish. Even
Did you
like
keep any of those?
no.
Not eating fish, huh?
Nah. We
Couple
kept
more of those, and you had yourself a fish stick.
Well, we kept the catfish last time because I wanted to teach Emerson how to clean it. And I told him, I said, the next time we catch like a pan-sized catfish, we'll keep it. And that's what we caught. But I'm not, my phone's almost dead, so we're going to lose the chat.
Yeah, mine's almost dead too.
All right, let's move on here. John has a theory on the Phantom Puker.
Do tell,
John Haas says that Logan was all over it for that $20. Jackson said Facebook is taking a poop too. John says Dylan covered his entire bed in himself once when he was 3. So we got a lot of good puke stories here. Steve felt that he learned a lot about Alex's B62, his son's B62, because he had to take the front end off 3 times this weekend. That's pretty funny.
Great. Yeah,
Peter
learn something.
Peter was looking at Truggies till 1 a.m. last night.
Ooh, Peter.
TJ is really excited for the Enduro.
Yes, he should be.
Shane Alberico got snarky and said, "What tech? There was none." Well, there was tech. I teched everybody's motors. Nobody was even close to being a cheater. Did Will go away?
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're kind of there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, there you're back. Okay, good. John Haas says you were talking about Tyler's truck for the short course truck.
Okay.
Shane Alberico said his stupid Reedy battery crapped out of him. He was up there, like 3rd or 4th, I think. But see what happens when you talk crap about parts of the track. You get really bad karma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the battery's fault.
Yeah.
You did not charge it by accident, maybe?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. John Haas says Mason is such a nice kid. And then Shane Alberico got snarky again and says that he thought that this was the easiest track all year. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So it wasn't hard enough this time, huh? Now you're going to complain it wasn't hard enough. We have too hard a track and you complain. We have too easy a track and you complain. What do you want? What do you want, Shane? Shane, you're all right. You're funny.
Yeah, you're funny.
I hope you're kidding. You better be kidding.
Yeah. Andy Barrett had a conversation with Connor about his hand, and he says his index finger is actually his middle finger now.
Nice.
So yeah, that firework really did a number.
The old switcheroo.
Yeah. John Haas says he's super happy for Ariana getting her first podium and a little trophy.
That's great.
They said Dave Alberico's face when he came off the stand looked like a huge stress reliever for 4-wheel drive. Daniel Bender said that he's still really sad about what happened with his buggy.
It's a huge stress reliever.
He was pretty pumped. That's the most.
I told him good job. That was awesome.
That's the most pumped I've seen Alberico in a while. Like he was really excited about that one.
Hell yeah.
Cody Mosier, who's from Sioux City, says there are definitely 2 different towns. South Sioux City is on the Nebraska side. We don't like them or claim them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Neither do we.
Yeah, neither do we.
Unless you're from there, and race the Plex, then you're
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, then you're cool. Nick Nuthouse wants to know if we're gonna have the Arma Typhon. And he put Typhoon. We're gonna have the Arma Typhon TLR tuned edition running Friday, and it actually I think we actually have it running right now. We just haven't had any time to film it. But yeah, I probably will try to drive it because I'm curious about it. But it won't be my race car because I gotta run a tech now. So
yeah.
Tyler Fleming is also wondering about the Typhon. He says he's thinking about updating his EB 48.4, and he's just looking. Maybe he'll just run a more a budget friendly. Let's see. Peter talking more about it. He says his track's just very, very dusty. I just don't think there's a good way to prevent that.
Not that I can think of. It's like these motors are so open now to cool and everything. It's like,
Steve RC wants to know if liquid wrench is hard to find. You know, I actually did have a little bit of trouble finding the yellow top liquid wrench a while ago.
I'll sell you some cans.
Yeah. So it's possible. I mean, there's a lot of shortages.
As long as there's not a PB Blaster shortage.
Yeah, exactly. Nick says we need to get me and Emerson on Big Water for some big blue cats. And I agree. I've been looking at boats for next year again.
You should go fishing with Wade.
I've always wanted a fishing boat.
Wade's an avid bass fisherman. Yeah. He has like competitions, dude.
Yeah.
He's like a cigarette boat.
Carrie Kremke did a catfish tournament not that long ago.
Really?
Yeah. I'm skipping over a couple of these, so. Everybody's telling Steve to just buy PB Blaster.
Yeah. Dude, if you're racing our track, just use PB Blaster.
Yeah.
Like, the difference is real.
It is. Peter No says I need to get a little fly fishing net that you keep on your waist. I have a whole list of stuff that I'm going to get Emerson for Christmas that we'll share. We actually started bringing a bucket out with us, which makes life a lot easier because then I can sit on it. And then when we need to like pack up and get out, we just put everything in the bucket and take it over to the truck. So
you can sit on it.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Lance Murray says the Southern Dandy, LOL.
No, yeah, I put that on there. I've used that nickname in a long time. Or my alias.
Jackson says, I'm just happy I went to race stock and race mod for extra track time and finished in front of all you guys. Turd muffin.
Don't get used to it.
Yeah, don't get too cocky. There was no differentiation on this track layout. Like for as big of a track as we are, there's usually at least a second difference between stock and mod. But on this track layout specifically, there was no differentiation. There was no long straightaway. There was no triple that only mods could do. So, Jackson wants to know.
Jackson, of course you did well. You're a stock driver and you drove on a stock track. So
there you go.
According to Shane Alberico, it was too easy.
Yeah, it's too easy.
So it was just too easy for all of us, honestly. And that's why you beat me, is because the track was too easy.
Yeah, it's way too easy. Let's see. Jackson wants to know if I'm racing e-buggy Friday. I think so. I think I will, actually.
I won't be there. We're going camping, yo.
Yeah. Lance says he is if his car is ready for 8 scale.
Working on mine right now, baby.
I'm supposed to remind you about an RC10 GT2.
Yep, sitting on my floor over there. I'm just going to bring it next time I come up, and it'll just be in your pit for him.
There you go. And Jackson says there wasn't a difference. I used a mod car in the main to make up for it. That's right. He did use James Nelson's Buggy.
Yeah. No.
So we're not saying you didn't do good. I'm just...
No. Hey, just keep rubbing it in.
Yeah.
You're just going to make me angrier and make me work harder.
Yep. I think that's it. I think that's all there is in the chat, other than a little banter back and forth. So my phone's at 3%, and I need to get back to the track. So
yeah, here's my e-buggy. If anybody wanted to see it, what do you do? This one. There we go. So I got some gold ellipses,
which we haven't
up here.
We have in stock at the Plex.
You have them now? Okay.
We do.
I have a little bit of a stockpile of them over there.
Yeah,
I got yeah.
I got to send off my Q4 order at J Concepts, and hopefully there'll be some gold ellipses in there.
I just put the J Concepts titanium turnbuckles on this thing, and then Kenny painted me a body for it, and it looks really nice. Let me just squeeze it on up in here.
It does look really nice. Emerson destroyed my mini truggy body, so I got to get him a new body too. I'm gonna get him a mini truggy J Concepts body.
So it looks like Sunday Race.
Get it painted in his colors, his gold and purple.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I got to go.
Okay.
And hey, I hope Margie has a vacuum. Do you have a vacuum here?
Why?
Well, you're probably gonna need it because I put my Vans had a bunch of mud in them, and now the mud is dried, and now it's all over her floor. Oops. Oh well, that's what David pays $60 a show for. So.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna head out, and
Okay.
see ya.
My wife just got home, so I'm gonna go upstairs.
All right.